Hello, welcome to Acoustic Spotlight, the program that profiles acoustic performers. I'm your host, Rich Pietrzak. Today's spotlight falls on a singer-songwriter who hails from DeLand, Florida, Marylea Leuth.
A tiny string of pearls given to a simple girl reminds me though they fade to gray, the memories of our yesterday still find me. I met you when I was 10. You were 12 and already had been around the world. And though you seemed so wise, I knew it was just a disguise to fool that girl. Skipping stones across the stream, it used to seem like time would stand still. We would lay upon our backs, watch the clouds change into black night. I still see your deep brown eyes crying softly to that sky in June. You were there to save my life on those railroad tracks that night in June. Where did you go? Will I ever really know? Your mama sat for hours in a chair, only feeling vague despair. You were left out on your own, no one seeing how you'd grown. So sad. In my rearview mirror, you appear to be the brave one. Throwing caution to that wind and always flying straight into the sun. Where did you go? Will I ever really know? Life was not innocent for you. Even the boy I knew was jaded. Dreams held in a bank account where loneliness gets compounded daily. Quit school at 16 years, telling me that you had no fears and to mind my own. And I stood there in that parking lot, feeling like I never got to say goodbye. And as the years go by, I wonder if you've ever tried to find me. And I hold this string of pearls that that you gave to that simple girl to remind me.
Welcome back to Acoustic Spotlight. I'm here with Marylea Leuth. Hey Marylea.
Hi Rich.
How are you doing?
Great.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot. This is neat.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that song that you started out with today. Can you tell us a little bit? It's a lovely melody. Can you talk a little about it?
Well, thanks. Yeah, the name of that song is Pearls, and I wrote that last summer sometime, and it's actually the story of my first love. We all have those, and it was a little heartbreaking because his life was fairly tragic, and of course that was my first attraction to him. But yeah, it's a song about just his life and how things were with him and how he affected me.
Before we get to the songwriting topics that I want to cover with you, I just want to ask you, how long have you been playing the guitar?
Oh gosh, it's got to be about 35 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, about 33, 34, something like that.
Did you start out with lessons as?
No, actually I started out with piano lessons and just hated it. Couldn't bring that on the street with you. And I loved to sing, and Neil Young was up and coming, and people were sitting around doing Harvest and Heart of Gold and that sort of thing, and I was like, gosh, I got to get with this. So that's what prompted me to pick up a guitar.
Do you still play the piano?
Somewhat, a little bit here and there. It helps me compose, and I'm hoping to get a little more into that in the next year, starting some lessons on Tuesday. So we'll see how that goes.
Are there any other instruments that you play?
I play harp. I play, not harp, but blues harmonicas. I have every key and play just about every one of them from time to time. So yeah, we have the harps going on most of our sets at some point.
Now that's kind of different. You don't see a lot of female harmonica players,
so
really.
I'm told. So I'm told. Yeah. I guess that's true.
What made you start with that?
Portability again. A little more portable than a guitar on my bicycle. That's exactly how it started. Yeah. Just had one of those in my back pocket when I wasn't out with the guitar. So.
Would you say that your music leans more towards the blues since you play the harmonica?
My pleasure is listening to the blues. I love listening to the blues. Oddly enough, it wasn't incorporated into my music until recently as far as my playing goes, but it's coming up. It's got a couple of songs now that I'm writing that are a lot more bluesy. There's a couple of songs on my latest CD that are a little bluesier than most, but some of them are just folky. But I'm getting a little bit away from that now.
Now, on the songwriting aspect of it, you obviously when you started playing, you mentioned Neil Young and playing covers. And
yeah.
When did you actually start to write your own material?
Honestly, Rich, I started writing just 2 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, the great musical contingent in Eustis, Florida helped me just get the verve up, get the energy going for my own songs. I really never thought I had a whole lot to say that was different from anybody else, and I probably don't, but it is kind of fun to weave your own stories, and I started doing that. So,
do you draw on mostly either your own experiences or?
Mostly, I would say, but there's a lot of nonsense stuff in my writing that has nothing to do with me. I imagine characters and people and places.
I once met Richard Schindel, songwriter, and he has a great song about becoming a truck driver, Kenworth of My Dreams.
Okay.
And I asked him, had you actually, driven a truck? Because it's such a great song. And he said, metaphorically.
Yeah.
That was his answer. I thought it was great. So.
Well, I did used to drive a truck.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for 3 years on the road. Yeah, coast to coast. A couple of years by myself. 1 year was with the first driver that taught me. But yeah, so a lot of my songs have some flavor of the road to them.
Yeah, I would say you probably have some experiences there to draw from.
Quite a bit. Not a lot of smallish type women driving big trucks. It was different.
Playing harmonica.
Playing harmonica, going down the road, right.
And what do you do now?
I teach high school in DeLand.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I got down here on a load of window tinting, actually, almost 12 years ago now, and decided, got to live here. Told my dog, Blues man at the time, Blues, we got to move. And we did. 6 months later, we were living here, and about 6 months after that, I was teaching school. And yeah, it's great. I love it.
Wow. Where were you from originally?
Massachusetts.
From Massachusetts?
Yeah.
There's a lot of great, well, folk singers, contemporary folk singers from that area.
Oh yeah, Chris Smither is like one of my all-time favorite musicians, and in fact, some of his tunings have prompted me to help me with that song that I just played. Yeah, he's out of Boston area, and you've got Arlo Guthrie, and just all kinds of greats from my childhood anyway.
Right. Well, speaking of the songs, would you like to do a couple more for us?
Sure, love to.
Do you have anything in particular you have in mind?
I'm going to do a new tune, a bluesy tune for about one of my students. I've told him this, that I said, Wes, somebody's going to be singing these blues to you one day, baby. And so all the boys get into singing this song with me now in my class, which is pretty cool. 16-year-old boys playing bluesy, folky stuff. Pretty amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, they're pretty much into urban rap, but so I'll do that one.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, well, we'll be right back with some more from Marylea Leuth.
Why can't you see what you're doing to me? Why can't you try to be a little less free? Running around all night on alleged business. You got no right to do me this way. You take your business to the mountains, babe. You hold your meetings by the sea. Was that a maid who just answered your telephone in some room where you shouldn't be? Why can't you see what you're doing to me? Why can't you try to be a little less free? Running around all night on alleged business. You got no right to do me this way. The other night it all felt so right. You were singing to the moon, but I just sat there and I drank it all in, knowing you'd be back on business soon. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? Why can't you try to be a little less free? Running around all night on alleged business. You got no right to do me this way. Now you're on a train, you're chugging to Savannah, my favorite town on this coast. But you say you got too many meetings there, and I can't reach you through the U.S. Post. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? Why can't you try to be a little less free? Running around all night on alleged business. You got no right to do me this way. Yeah, you got no right to do me this way. And now I just might believe in mine today. He's my sunny side, my morning paper, my tide, my magic carpet ride. He's my funny guy, the only one who can make me feel, he makes me feel high. When my sunny side comes oh so next to me, I get this feeling that I'm weak down in my knees, weak down in my knees. Shooting star, the gravity's never let him fall, it's never let him fall this far. And he's my lucky one, it's like I win the lotto every time he runs to me, he runs to me. When my lucky one goes oh so far away, I wanna hide inside and wait for sunny day, wait for sunny day. Side, my magic carpet ride. He's my sunny side. He's my funny guy. He's my sunny side.
An innovative anthrax vaccine, promising research on cancer, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and advanced laser developments. In their search for new answers and better solutions, UCF professors are awarded millions of dollars in research funding each year. Needless to say, we're all quite proud of them. UCF stands for opportunity.
We're back with Marylea Leuth on Acoustic Spotlight. Marylea, those songs, the tempo was a little bit different than that opening number. I know you talked about the first song that you were going to lead into, but tell me a little bit about your ending number there, Sunny Side.
Well, that's just I'm going in some new directions. I'm really picking up on some jazz chord stuff and trying a little more of. I like the beat. I like having that kind of a staccato beat going on, maybe even a little Latin influence, and I just feel it. It's just pulling me. So, yeah, a little different.
It's nice. It's it's a great blend.
Thanks.
With everything that you have. I know you do perform solo, but also too you perform with others, right?
Oh yeah. Primarily, I'm working with my trio we call Riff Raff. We go from actually a trio to supersized Riff Raff with a few other players, but from time to time, and but for the most part, I'm with the trio Riff Raff. It's Bill Matthew and Kevin Dunn and myself, and we just have a blast playing together. And we have Hal Stokes joining us from time to time. He's great.
Yeah, I imagine sometimes when you're by yourself, it's a little, I'm sure it's fun, but I imagine you can go in a lot more directions.
Oh yeah, these guys give me so much canvas to work with. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I'm not able to play blues harmonica if I don't have those guys. You know, that's what I'm doing when they're playing blues. I get to blow harp, and it's fantastic. I have a blast. So yeah.
Is it a combination of covers and your material when you play out?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. We sprinkle some of my originals into the mix. Lately we've been doing a lot of cover stuff just because we've been getting asked to play big party type scenes, and you know, a lot of people like the familiars, so we go with it. We go with the flow, whatever's there. But we always sprinkle a couple of my originals in, which is nice.
And speaking of originals, I happen to have a copy of Marylea's latest CD here. You take a look at that.
Yeah.
And Outside Chance is the name of that record. Now, the songs that you played today, were they from this CD?
No, just the first one, Pearls, and the other two I've just written this summer. As a teacher, I get the summers off, so I wrote 6 new songs this summer, and I'm hopefully going to be recording again sometime this year. But this next CD I'm thinking will be kind of a mix with originals and some old covers. I'd like to do some old blues stuff, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it, and I've got some great backup people, so I think it'll be fun.
Are you very regimented in your songwriting? Do you make sure you put blocks of time aside?
Yeah, I try. My best writing comes when I do exactly that. When I sit down and force myself to sit down every morning at a particular time at a particular place, it starts to flow all day. And it's just, I just never know when it's going to hit me. But if I regiment myself, I am much more apt to write a song faster, sooner, whatever.
That's great. Do you do any collaborating, or are you pretty much just writing yourself?
I'd love to collaborate. I've done some collaborations instrumentally. In fact, on that CD, there's a guy out of Sweden who's laid down some piano tracks to one of my songs. But I haven't done any actual lyrics to music collaboration yet, but I'm working on it. My friend Wayne Carter and I might come up with something like that. So we'll see. He's written some words that I really enjoy, and I like throwing the music to words. So.
Now you have a website?
Yeah, we have a Riffraff, our band's website, and that's riffraffml, as in Mary Lee. It's all one word, riffraffml.com, and that's where you can see our calendar and where we're playing and that sort of thing. Some of the pictures of the band and some of the crazier things we've done. Yeah,
yeah, because you play really all over Florida, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We're Central Florida, a lot of Lake County, a little bit of Volusia County. We've played Orlando, so we're hoping to do some more folk festivals and that sort of thing this coming year, so we can get out there a little bit more.
Right.
But we're a pretty young group.
Yeah. Well, listen, would you like to do one more number?
Sure. I will do another, I'll do a truck driving song. This will be the story of what took me out to the road.
Okay.
It's called Small Girl.
All right. All right, well, after this break, we'll be back with one more from Marylea Leuth.
Greatness doesn't care how early it is or how late. Greatness doesn't care if anyone's watching. Greatness doesn't care about your clothes, your hair, or your music. The only thing greatness cares about is getting an opportunity. Where will you get yours? At UCF, we believe no dream is too big and no goal out of reach. On the fields, the courts, and in the classrooms, UCF stands for opportunity.
Well, that's all we have today for Acoustic Spotlight. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'd like to thank Marylea Leuth for coming to our program. Marylea is going to do one more song called Small Girl, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks again.
She was a small girl, tired of her small world. She was married and kept a fine home, but at just 32 felt sad that she was through with the crazier days of her youth. She cried to her man, he just managed to fan the flames that slowly were creeping into their lives like thousands of knives, piercing tranquility, sleeping. Night after night she'd feel lonely, contrite, wishing she were far away, with her face in the wind, not feeling pinned to a life that was terminally gray. Improve his golf swing, her man left his wedding ring standing alone on the table. Out late at the bars of Venus and Mars, she knew their love was a fable. Once at a diner, a man sat beside her, and he told her of life on the road. He drove a big truck, love, he had no luck. She felt her old life explode. Down night after night, she'd feel only contrite, wishing she were far away. With her face in the wind, not feeling pinned to a life that was terminally gray. She drives that big truck, and love, she's got crummy luck. She sees the world on her own. Both times at night now, she feels quite alright how the wind in her face is like home. Night after night, she feels only delight. She's not wishing she were far away. With her face in the wind, she's not feeling pinned to a life that was terminally gray. To a life that was terminally gray. To a life that was terminally gray.